So we are recording our class on April the 9th, and we are in legal research at this point. So I'm going to share again. And the next item on the agenda is going to be the syllabus. So I want to show you where we are and where I hope that we will be in the near future. I had this on student view. There's a weird glitch in Canvas, so I have to actually leave student view to go to the syllabus. Sorry about this. This is a little bit cumbersome, but and here we are in the syllabus. And you can see that we're a little bit behind. We've talked about key site a little bit, especially in that Westlaw lecture number 1. And we've indirectly talked about digests because digests are really just the key number system. But I'd like to do 2 relatively brief lectures on these 2 topics. These are things that we would have ordinarily covered. We would have covered one last week and we'd be covering this one this week, but neither one really is something that would take a whole week to cover. So next week, these will be our kind of our 2 topics that we focus on. And if time permits, I may also post another Bluebook example session focusing on the Green Book. I have a little confession to make. I have a Bluebook here, but I inadvertently left my Green Book on campus. So it's going to be a little interesting for me to do a Green Book presentation without having the Green Book. I apologize for that. I could kick myself for it. I may be able to persuade Professor Wagoner into photocopying a few pages. I say persuade, he's already offered and has been very gracious about it. Okay, so that's the syllabus. I just wanted to show you where we are. And now I'm going to go to our Bluebook assignment, which should be available for y'all to see now. So I'm going to go to Student View. You will find the Bluebook assignment in Module 10 at the very bottom. And I don't have my modules in order. I apologize for that. If I were to put them in order, I have to renumber them, and that creates all kinds of numbering problems. So I haven't done so. I apologize. So you'll see that the Bluebooking assignment is right here at the bottom. I call it Bluebook assignment number 1 because I anticipate that we will have a second Bluebook assignment, because this Bluebook assignment does not require that you know how to find petition and writ histories. I give you petition and writ histories, and all you have to do is just format it correctly. You don't actually have to find any of this data. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Bluebook assignment. You can see the due date here is April 19th. So there's it's not due this Sunday, but the following Sunday. And here is the assignment. Not sure why I got that. Oh, sometimes I get that on this one. So here is the assignment. This assignment works best if you use Courier or Courier New Font. The reason for that is that back in the day when I was learning to type on a typewriter, the way typewriters worked is that when I would strike a key, the machine would type a letter, and then it would advance the exact same distance every single time. So a skinny I, like this one, would have as much space as a large W, capital W, would have. Obviously, when we're writing with our hand, that wouldn't be true. If I'm writing a skinny I or a skinny L, my next letter is going to be significantly closer than if I were writing a capital W. And as a result, when you see things on the internet or when you see things on a printer that is generated not through a typewriter, they have this kind of flexible formatting. But the problem with flexible formatting is that it's more challenging to see whether a person has put 1 space or 2 space between words. So I've set this up so it's already in Courier, or I think I'm using Courier. If you look over here you can see I have Courier New. That's the one that Microsoft Word uses, so you can just kind of find it on the list. Most likely when you pull this up, it will automatically be in Courier New for you, but I would ask that you make this change just so um, you know it'll work okay, and that way I'll be able to easily see spaces, and you can see here all the spaces are very easy to see. You will need to turn on the Pilcrow for all that to happen on your particular version of Word. And everyone has Word because that's part of what's installed as part of a feature of Canvas. So I'm going to turn off the Pilcrow just so you can see what it looks like without. Okay, the Pilcrow is this little backwards P. So you can see how things space out with Courier. And then when you turn this on, so like let's say you inadvertently put 2 spaces here. Well, it's pretty easy to see that with a Courier font because the spaces are just so kind of regimented. Um, and that's why it makes it easier for me to grade it. So I would appreciate it if you would do that. I would also ask that you use red font for your replacement font. Keep what is here. So what I suggest you do is you take the original, copy it, move it to a line here. You can get rid of the one, obviously. And then put the version that you now have in red font. And that will make it easy for me to see. I would ask that you keep the original and then just duplicate it. You know, in a perfect world, you'll keep it on one page, and again, you can remove all of these extras that you want if that's helpful for you, keeping it on one page. We are welcome to come to my office hours for some support about the assignment if you're not quite sure what to do. I believe everything that is in here is information that we have covered in one of those lectures. Let me show you where to find those lectures. So I'm going to go to Home, and looking at the video lectures, which is the first module, you'll see that we have 4 lectures. This is a review, stuff that we covered prior to when we were face-to-face still. And these next 3 are about how to format things. And actually, the first 2 and 3 are explaining how to go about doing it. The 4th are just me going through a series of examples of federal court. And in that, I show you some examples that I use, and here is that document. So I posted that as well. I forgot to post that for a little while. So if you looked earlier, you might not have seen this. I did not post examples of number 1, number 4, number 6, number 8, or number 10. But you can find me working on examples for those in lectures 2 and 3. And you're welcome to come to my office hours for more support. As I said before, I may well post another set of Westlaw examples. I just have lots of lectures to generate these days. And so if time permits, I'll do that. But I didn't want to get us too far behind on assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and put these out. So even if I don't have a set of examples for, say, this one, I went through this and I made sure, oh yeah, everything I have in here is covered. If you don't have a green book, my suggestion is to find a buddy who has a green book and get those writ history pages, have him or her scan them and send them to you. If you need help finding a buddy to do that, I'll be glad to post a discussion board where people can swap. Maybe one person has the green book, one person has the blue book, something along those lines. It is not a group assignment, though. I do expect the work be reflecting your mastery of the material. So I'm going to open it up for questions again, see if anyone has questions about the assignment. All right. If you have questions, you can certainly ask those at the end as well. So I'm going to go back to share screen. And our agenda, oops, sorry. Our agenda is the quiz number 8 information. Here is the only question from the quiz that more people missed than got right. A no evidence summary judgment is a jury decision that the plaintiff failed to I cannot speak today, that the plaintiff failed to present any evidence to support his or her claims and therefore loses. This is a false statement. I'm hearing some voices. Does someone have a question? Okay. Very good. Well, if you do have a question, you're welcome to chime in. We don't have a ton of people today, or you can type something in the discussion. I'm assuming the chat box. Okay, so returning to this one. So this is a false statement, and let me show you how you can figure that out. This part is true. The problem is this word jury. When you have a summary judgment, it means that the phrase summary judgment means the judge decided it before trial. So it's summary, meaning in the sense of it's a very brief process that is followed. It's not the whole trial process. So a jury is never selected, a jury never hears the case, and therefore obviously a jury doesn't render a decision. So the part of this statement that's incorrect is the word jury. If it had been the word judge, that would have been socially awkward, grammatically awkward, but it would have been a correct statement because it's the judge who renders all summary judgments, and certainly a no evidence summary judgment. So that's the question that was most commonly missed. Now let's go in and look at the data about quiz number 8. Actually, let me save that so I'm not taping it anymore. Survey information. Let me just move this down. Cut. The survey information. I've only had 4 responses so far, so please try to complete that before the 12th. That's the final date to do that. I'm not sure where I posted them. I think you can see it, but I can't necessarily see it on mine. If anyone's having any difficulty locating this survey, please let me know. I'll be glad to post it somewhere else if it needs to be posted in a different location. So let me know about that if that's an issue. But I would appreciate, once I get the feedback, then it'll help me know whether to push things onto quizzes or push things onto assignments. We will obviously have the first and second Bluebook assignment. I think Bluebooking is just too hard to do in quiz formats because some people really want a lot of time, and I respect that. It reasonably takes a lot of time, and so I don't want to push people into taking quizzes and therefore a lot of unnecessary stress. So any questions about what we've covered to this point? I'm going to turn off share. Okay, so I am going to stop the recording, and now I will go through briefly the number 8 quiz and also the answers to some of the midterm questions. So I'm